Israeli strikes have killed at least 23 people across Gaza since dawn. In the south of the Strip, attacks killed at least 9 Palestinians, 2 of them children. Several people have also been injured when an airstrike targeted a residential building in Khan Younis. The Israeli armies carried out waves of attacks on the southern city in recent days. It's also repeatedly targeted al-Mawasi, a narrow strip in southwestern Gaza, which it designated a safe zone. In the north of Gaza, 2 Israeli drone missiles hit a tent in the Jabalia refugee camp. A family of 5, including 3 children, were killed. 10 others have been critically injured. It's been more than 7 weeks since Israel reimposed a total blockade on Gaza, preventing the entry of food, fuel and water. No humanitarian aid has entered the Strip either. Supplies are running out. Charity kitchens are warning they're just days away from shutting down. They're one of the last remaining lifelines for Palestinians. More than 2 million people are dependent on aid to survive. About 95% of aid groups have been forced to suspend or reduce their services.
Our work is threatened with stopping in the coming days. There are no materials available in the market, or the prices are high.
Firewood is expensive. Imagine that a pound of firewood costs 12 to 14 shekels. People have started eating 1 meal a day. I swear to God, this is what is happening to everyone, not just me. Now there is a flour crisis, all because of the closure of the crossings. It has been more than 2 months and no one cares about us.
Going to go live to Hani Mahmoud in Gaza City. So Israel strikes continuing. Talk to us about what's been happening, Hani.
Well, it's another depressing morning across the Gaza City, with more attacks causing further civilian casualties, more enforced displacement, and sheer level of destruction now that is potentially, we're looking at all means of life have been destroyed, including the remaining public facilities that turned into shelters for displaced Palestinians. But what's really more depressing is the fact that more people are dying now inside the hospital. Initially, 9 people in Khan Younis were killed inside a residential home that was bombed relentlessly by the fighter jets. A fire spread out and caused the bodies to burn beyond recognition inside this home. Just in the past couple hours, we have an update from the hospital that the number has increased into 11 people, with the 3 more who could not make it because of the severe injuries, the severe burn that they had sustained from the overnight attacks. Here in Gaza City, we're looking at a total of 7 people were killed inside a residential home, and we happen to be in Gaza City. The explosions that hit the building that we could hear as past midnight time shook the foundation of every building at its vicinity. It could be heard clearly from a far distance. It's more of a quake bomb that were dropped that destroyed not just the building, but the surrounding area was severely damaged by the bombs. It took civil defense crew members until early hours of this morning to remove bodies from under the rubble of this particular family. We look at 2 children were among the dead in this attack. Further northern part of the Strip, 2 missiles were fired at a tent housing a displaced family of husband, a wife, and their 3 children were killed, and many of the people who were at the vicinity of that tent were critically injured. Close to 10 of them were transferred to the Indonesian hospital. Now, the aftermath of all of this is the fact that many of the injuries arriving to hospital, but they don't find proper medical care. And the concerning part is they're dying quietly inside the hospital due to the acute shortage of medical supplies, the inability of medical staff to provide meaningful medical care due to the ongoing blockade on the entry of medical equipment and much needed medical supplies to the Strip.
And Hani, a crisis inside the hospitals, as you're talking about, also a crisis outside, because charities are saying they're going to be running out of food by the end of the week now that the blockade's in its 55th day.
Absolutely. Just in the word of the head of the Humanitarian aid to medical aid. The head of humanitarian protection of medical aid across Gaza described what's going on as scrapping the barrel basically here, because there is nothing left here. Whatever is left here is dwindling, and this is a nice way to put it, but it's in fact running out, and it's not enough for people. The scene that we come across every morning and throughout the day is hundreds of people, including children, queue for long hours waiting with empty pots and empty pans, clamoring to get food for their families back in tents or displacement sites. We've seen this happening frequently. Many of them are scouring piles of garbage to find, just get a trash to start fire in order to cook or to keep family members warm during the nighttime. This is the actual scene that is started to be quite visible nowadays, and there are areas where in many of the displacement sites people are living on one meal, and again it's because of the dwindling stocks. We see in the United Nations, the WFP, World Food Programs and other humanitarian organizations, not only they're warning of the dire situations, but also they're talking about, contrary to what the Israeli military is saying, because in the past few days we heard a statement that said there is no food shortage in Gaza, but what the WFP, what the United Nations and other organizations, they say there is an actual food shortage here due to the ongoing blockade, close to 55 days, and there are no evidence that there is aid diversions across the Gaza Strip. Everything was rationed, everything was designated into areas where it was supposed to go, and it went to much needed population across the Strip. But the bottom line here, what we started to see here, not only just people living on one meal, but literally now scrapping the barrel for whatever is left.
Hani Mahmoud in Gaza City. Hani, thank you very much indeed.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.